Hello everyone, today I'm going to be teaching you how to graph absolute value equations. Knowing that this is an absolute value equation, the first thing that we're going to do is decide and write down our domain and ranges. I've already written down the domain and range for absolute value. So once we have this written down, we're going to go back to the equation and figure out how this equation is going to change the domain and range. So first we're going to analyze the equation. Alright, so the first thing that we're going to look for in the equation is where the minus symbol right here, or negative symbol, is in relation to the x. So in this case it's separated from the x, therefore it's going to reflect across the x-axis, meaning that it's going to flip upside down, and the y values are going to be negated. So knowing that the y values are going to be negated, we're going to go to the domain and range, and we're going to put a minus symbol right here. Then we're going to go back up, and we're going to look at this number right here. That's a plus 4, meaning that, well, this, okay, first off, this number on the end is always going to determine what happens to the y values. So that's a plus 4, meaning that the y's are going to go up 4. So we're going to go here and put a plus 4. Oh, I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, I wrote plus 4. Okay, and then we're going to go back up and see what's going to happen to the x's. This says x plus 2. Okay, so whenever you're talking about the x's, the number that's going to change the x is always not flipped, but opposite of logic. So if it's a plus 2, that means it's going to go to the left. If it's a minus 2, that means that it's actually going to go to the right. In this case, it's a plus 2, so that means that when we go back to the domain and ranges, we're actually going to the left, which means that we're going to minus 2 from x. Alright, so once we have that, we're going to change our x and y values. So for every y, there's going to be, every y is going to be negated, and 4 is going to be added to it. And for every x value, it's going to be two are going to be subtracted from each x value. Alright, so I've already written down the changed x and y values, and this is what I get right here. Negative 4, 2, negative 3, 3, negative 2, 4, negative 1, 3, and 0, 2. Once we have that, we're ready to graph. Alright, so here's the graph for this absolute value equation. I took, or keeping in mind that we have these new ordered pairs right here, we're going to graph all of these on here. So I took, I graphed negative 4, 2, negative 3, 3, negative 2, 4, negative 1, 3, and 0, 2. And so apparently the graph has been reflected over the x-axis, which means that this graph would actually be flipped on the negative side of the graph, and this is the outcome. So that is how you graph absolute value equations.